So a brief overview of Artwork Archive, if you are new to us. Artwork Archive is an online art collection management system based here in Denver, Colorado. We work with artists, collectors, and organizations all over the world to help them organize, share, showcase their art collections. And a little bit about me. My name is Elysian McNiff-Kogelmeyer. I will be leading the webinar today with the help of my wonderful colleague, Emily Trice from Artwork Archive. I am the head of growth. I come from a family of artists, art educators, art therapists. I have worked in the nonprofit art space within public art, art museums at academic institutions. I've curated, published. And so since my time from college, have had the pleasure of working in the arts and being connected to artists, curators, and collecting institutions. And one big piece of my role at Artwork Archive is making sure I am listening, hearing the best practices, the challenges that our art institutions are facing, and then relaying that back out to the field to help support us all. So hence this presentation. And who are all of you? So Emily, would you like to recap the poll?
Sure. So 56% of you are already Artwork Archive users, which is wonderful. Thanks for being here, and it's great to have you. 44% are brand new and not yet an Artwork Archive subscriber. So we have almost 20% from academic institutions, 6% from small museums and historical societies. 31% of you are independent artists. Awesome. And 31% of you are also other. We do have 3% from commercial galleries and 6% from an art center. And then 56% of you already have a public presence through a website or other platform. 38% of you have everything still private, and 6% of you are not sure.
All right, thanks. So it's good to know the lay of the land. Hopefully the examples that we have will speak to everyone's needs. And lovely to see the independent artists in this as well, because I know many of you are wearing lots of hats, so you may be curating for other institutions or seeking to start up your own nonprofit. So hopefully this presentation will be of help to everyone. All right, I'm just going to close out that poll. Now for the information that you're all here to learn. The question, how can cultural institutions remain relevant and resilient during uncertain times, during these challenging times? How can we activate our collections to increase accessibility and reach? With new tools and technology, we can strengthen and preserve our collections, enrich our engagement, broaden our impact, and establish an enduring legacy. Since we are an online art inventory database here at Artwork Archive, we've seen so many art institutions, in the past drag their feet when it comes to online access, something to do in the future at some point, not a priority. But the past few years with the pandemic has made virtual connections a priority. So it kicked many of us into gear. And online access, as we have learned, is paramount to making our institutions resilient and sustainable. You can leverage technology to make your institution inclusive, equitable, and accessible. You don't need an IMLS grant or a huge budget in order to use online tools. They can be accessible and affordable. You also don't need a doctorate in order to do it or a master's in library studies. We have seen interns use online art databases, so very accessible. And you can also use technology to extend beyond your gallery walls to create new relationships and increase awareness of your institution near and far. So here are a few benefits that we have seen from our clients using technology to bring their art collections, their mission online. A lot of words, these slides will be sent afterwards, but just to run through them quickly, bringing your collection online makes your processes more sustainable. So internally, for collaboration, very easy when you can access your collection from anywhere, from near, at home, on a tablet, on your phone, in your donor's home. You can expand your reach, so you're no longer limited by physical space. You can make your collection accessible beyond your gallery walls, as I mentioned. You can grow your digital audience, so get more visits to your website and social media from near and far. You can increase artwork sales and monetary gifts when you are fundraising and selling online. Enrich engagement. This is a biggie, whether it's online voting for artworks or giving away for people to connect with pieces and to learn more than what's available on a small Avery label. You're giving your publics the opportunity to engage with your artworks, to instill curiosity, to create dialogue. And you are making your collection more equitable and resilient. So you don't have to be reliant on input traffic, which may be hard to come by at these times. So the focus of this presentation is all about making your institution and programming more accessible to the public to help share it out from inside out. But we should also take a moment in the beginning to talk about internal processes, because in order for us to be successful with the external piece, we need to get our house in order, and we need to make sure we have a solid foundation underneath us. And sometimes that is not a given. Many arts administrators can be tethered to their desk or a computer. Imagine if you are using online tools and you're walking around campus and you notice some paint chipping on a sculpture, you can pull up your phone and log that conservation note. You are with a donor at a gala and you want to show them a new acquisition, you can pull up your phone and show them that information. Or you're home with a sick toddler and you need to keep momentum going and you need to keep working. You can work from home and you don't have to wait until you get back into the office. Here on the slides, some more benefits: that you never lose track of your information, centralize all of your artwork details in one place. You don't have information in manila folders across various cabinets or on various desktops. You'll always be prepared, so you'll have details ready, whether you have an inquiry from a board member or a staff member that's on-site, off-site. And to that point, you don't have to physically be on location. You can access your art inventory from anywhere. So maybe you're offsite at storage and you need to update some records. You can do so. You don't have to wait until you're back at your desk. And that all meaning that you can easily share out your information when it is all centralized in one easy to access place. So online art databases give you infinite storage and the ability to associate documents with artwork, contact, location, exhibition records, and more, meaning that it's an interrelational database, and that artworks can be associated with the artist, records can be associated with the exhibitions that they have been in, and that you can keep track of all of those, the documents that pertain to that. So here I have differentiated between, the conventional documentation that we have for provenance, donor records, conservation reports, artist statements, studies, publications, etc. But in this time of technology, we also have our new wave of provenance, our unconventional provenance that is coming to tell the story of our artworks, our artists, our artistic records. And those are video clips, time-lapse videos of the artists making the works, interviews with the artists, the curators, audio recordings, social media posts. And so these are very important to tell too, because they share the story of not only the artwork, the artist, their process, their motivations, but of time, of context of our society today. So making sure that we don't lose sight of these unconventional pieces of provenance that you can also upload to your database. And I'm going to take a moment here to jump out and show how you can easily share this information using Artwork Archive as an example, other online databases perhaps as well. So here I am, I'm going to increase the font, sorry about not doing that earlier, in an Artwork Archive account. I'm going to pull up an artwork. I can quickly find what I need with search, filters, sorts. This is the object I want to show you, this artwork record. I mentioned video, so you can attach a video right here. It's the time lapse of the artist making the artwork, which is really impressive, seeing as how there were time lapses when Rousseau was working, but neither here nor there. And when this video clip is attached to your object record in this way, it is accessible to the public. So the public not only sees the artwork image, reads the didactic text, but they also get this additional media experience by able to watch the video. a lot of other additional information that can be tracked. For this purpose, I'm showing you what you can share out. So if I scroll all the way to the bottom, you always have access to your high-res images, so you can download them or share them directly. So maybe this piece is part of your centennial and you want to send this out to press, especially if they are saved as contacts, you can send them right away. So I'm sending this over to Emily so she can publish it in the county newspaper. And then what's also wonderful is once you share this image with her, her contact record will be updated so you'll know what you shared with her and when. Additionally, you can see that if I scroll up, here are the additional files I mentioned. Here are the more conventional provenance details with a certificate of authenticity, a donor letter. College Advancement has contacted you and needs access to this donor letter, so you can share it directly from your account, which is absolutely lovely. You don't have to go searching through manila folders or searching through your desktop, asking a colleague if they have access to that document. It's all here in one place. Let's see, in addition to, you also have access to your maintenance records, various expenses. Checking my notes to see if I have missed anything. Oh, yes, for our galleries and our art advisors that are conducting sales on the webinar, you also have access to information to share out to your clients to pique interest, to answer questions and to drive sales. So something maybe as simple as the cost, something more delicate and interesting like the didactic text or the exhibition history, whatever may help you promote the artwork. I go back into my presentation. Okay. Now we're going to get into some of the features of Artwork Archive that help you create access to your publics, to your audience, whomever they may be. And I'm starting with private rooms. So coordinating with colleagues, lenders, clients, appraisers, faculty, anyone can be hard. There's a lot of email back and forth, document attachments, long threads, lost documents, late to the game, people who jump in on a thread and need to be looped in. It can be really challenging, even with our technology that we have to date. So that is why we created private rooms, a place to easily prepare online viewing rooms to share your collection exclusively with contacts. So private rooms are one of our most popular tools because of that. It's easy for clients to quickly organize a group of works, a group of artworks, create a beautiful and polished professional viewing experience, and then share that directly from their Artwork Archive account, from their database, from one place. And for those receiving the private rooms, it's a link that they click into and they have access to. You can password protect the page if it is something that is of sensitive nature with financials. That's an option. But when you send over these private rooms, that means that you are going to receive direct feedback. You'll be able to track communications all in one place. And I have a few use cases that spread for our various attendees that will hopefully speak to you. So the Marjorie Barrick Museum of Art at University of Nevada, Las Vegas sends private rooms to colleagues to discuss works in an upcoming exhibit, to discuss what should be included. They don't have to be all in one room. The Lilly Museum at University of Nevada, Reno sends private rooms to professors in response to inquiries. So if an art professor, an art history professor is curious about what Japanese artworks are in the collection, the Lilly can quickly filter by Japanese artworks, send over the collection to the professor, and then they have a record of that. Public art administrators can send artworks and share artist bios to their art selection committees. Galleries can share a curated body of work to a client. And in return, they'll receive important metrics that will help them close their deals quickly and sell more art. And lastly, nonprofit art centers have used these to create really cool VIP sneak peeks of upcoming shows to their esteemed members so that perhaps they can purchase an artwork before the exhibition has gone live. I'm going to show you what this looks like within Artwork Archive. So private rooms, for those that are using Artwork Archive already, can be accessed by clicking Artwork and then Private Rooms. You'll see here, this is your archive of the private rooms you have created. Here with works you may be interested in, if I click in and view it, this is what they look like. So it's a URL that you send. You send a note. You can let your viewers filter by artist. So if I want to see all the works by Joanne, I even get a bio about her. Great for art selection committees. Great for clients who are interested to learn more about the artist behind the artworks. And then as you see, when I scroll over, there'll be a sold icon. So for galleries that are selling their artworks, you don't have to worry about selling the same artwork twice. That information, once you have logged a sale in Artwork Archive, is immediately reflected. And then for interactivity, for communications, you can see that there's a little heart icon or chat icon. I can send a message about, if this is an art selection committee, or if I'm a colleague and I really like this piece, or I don't, and I have reasons why, I can share that, and it will be all logged in one place within your Artwork Archive record. And if I go back to that dashboard, you'll see your messages here, the notes that have been sent, who sent it, when, what the note is. You can reply directly from your Artwork Archive account. And then for those that are eager to jump in and want to create a private room, if I go back to private rooms, very simple. You just click new room, give it a name, a description, then you'll see all these options. With a click of the button, the database sucks up all that information that has already been entered and puts it into the private room, so you don't have to copy and paste a million times. And this logic is found throughout the database when creating reports, etc. You can allow the users to download images if this is going to a colleague or press. And then here's your ability to add the artworks. So if I click filters, you can create a private room based off of collections within your collection, your permanent collection, based off of a particular artist or a medium. The photography department is interested in all the photos that are in your collection. You can send them all the photos, even if it's 610. So that is private rooms. Online viewing rooms to help you. Another helpful tool, if you do like PDF. So private rooms were to give a little bit more dynamicism than, printed documents or PDFs. But PDFs still are in play and are helpful. They can be great educational materials. So you can create any type of report from within Artwork Archive. We have templates for you to create inventory reports, portfolio pages, which are shown here. These are excellent resources. So you can create portfolio pages for the artworks in an exhibit, print it, laminate it, and leave it in the gallery. You can send these to teachers in your community, community members, so that they can learn more about the artworks, even if they can't step foot into your gallery. And when it comes to creating reports, I'm going to go back into pieces. You can create a report pretty much from any one of these tabs, from these features. From pieces, if I click new report, you'll see there's quite a few options. If I click portfolio page, this is more of it can be marketing or educational, as I mentioned. You can give it a title. You can decide how the images the artworks are sorted. Again, the same logic of just with the click of a button. So maybe this is going to a school group, so you don't want price included, but you do want that educational information, that historical context like creation date in your description. You can also include your provenance notes. And here again are filters to help you quickly find the artworks that need to be included in the report. So you do not have to worry about mail merges, copying and pasting from various folders on your desktop. One particular popular report that we have seen used much more often now are QR code labels. You can definitely amplify your online presence with QR codes. they're making a comeback thanks to the pandemic. We are used to these little squares now in restaurants, coffee shops for us to access menus and such. And so our QR codes have two different functionalities. You can use them for backend inventory management, similar to barcodes, or you can use them to share information with the public, again, outside of the limitations of your Avery label. So let's consider the internal use first. So we see our clients with large art inventories using QR codes to manage artworks, say in storage. When an artwork is wrapped and tucked away, but has this label printed on the outside, you can take your phone, scan the QR code, and you'll be brought to your artwork archive record. As long as you are an artwork archive user, you are on that account, and you will see all the information pertaining to the artwork, which may be shipping details, which you're looking for. When does this need to be shipped out? The other use case is the public-facing side of QR codes. So to educate your audiences, you can direct the QR code to a public artwork record, an exhibition, a part of your collection, and to your website. So how is this done? When creating a QR code label, which I will show you, we actually have a custom link field where you can add any link and the QR code will go to that link. So it can maybe a marketing campaign or the premiere release of a new show. And again, you're not limited to just the information that you can note on your label. You have the QR code. The public can scan that QR code and be brought to the internet, which is much more limitless and can provide a lot more context, historical information. They can see those videos of the artist speaking to their artworks. And the other cool thing is that it's brought up in a web browser on their phone. And so then you are saved in their phone, making a little bit of an impact there. I've also seen some of our clients create scavenger hunts with QR codes. So to get a little fun and playful with QR codes. And that's more on like the public art facing side of things. A hospital collection did that. It was really lovely. Okay. So at this point, hopefully, oh, I didn't even get into showing you where to create the QR code. Sorry, I was jumping ahead. So QR codes can be found in a number of tabs, but here, if we go back to pieces, click new report, click into QR codes. Here it is. You can decide what information is included on that label. And when I mentioned the internal and the public facing side, and the fact that you can include a custom link, that all here is explained on the QR code option. So if I were to click public page, then this QR code would then go to my public profile or the custom link that I want to direct it to. And again, this same logic in that you can create these QR codes for a particular exhibition, for a particular part of your collection that you are reinstalling or installing at new. So you can filter by location or by the various categories, collections within your collection. Okay. Sorry for the jumping in and out. All right, so hopefully at this point, like I said, it's been clear of the advantage of using an online art collection management system so that you can make your information very easily accessible and you can promote discoverability and engagement with your audiences. Here at Artwork Archive, we offer a great tool that helps with that. It is called the Public Profile. It is exactly as it sounds. It is a public-facing component portal to your Artwork Archive account. When you create an Artwork Archive account, by default, everything will be private. Some clients leave it that way. But if you want to make aspects of your collection public, you can do so with a few clicks of a button. Not only that, you can decide what artworks are public, what information is public. So you might want to include the creation date, the medium, but not include any acquisition details, the price, your conservation records. So you can decide what is public. The other part of it is, as you can see in the screenshot, and I will click into a few examples, you have a lot of great things to showcase, not only just your entire collection, you can give a wonderful description about your organization in the About section, share your mission. You have an interactive map for the public art collections, the art collections that spread across campuses, cities, counties, streets. Collections are the various sub-collections within your collection, so categories, so it could be new acquisitions, or you can base it off of subject matter, styles, your abstract works. Artists, you can have artist profiles for each artist in your collection. Exhibitions, which we'll get into, and then it's cut off, but there's also a news section to treat as like a mini blog to share updates. And this is also where clients connect with galleries, nonprofits who are doing fundraisers. People can buy artworks, connect with you to establish sales from the public profile as well. So all of our public profiles are hosted on Discovery, which is a part of our website here. You can see that you can search by location, various number of filters, type of art, size, price, etc. So let's search for one of our clients that I want to share with you. So I'm going to look for Tila Studios. The mission of this organization is to empower female Black artists in Atlanta to increase awareness of and interest in Black female artists. So Tila loves the public profile because they can connect with potential buyers to their artists, again, promote discoverability. So very dynamic. If you scroll over, you can learn more about the piece. You can click in. I mentioned that you can drive sales from the public profile. So you can, if I am an interested buyer, I love this piece, I love horses, click purchase. This message will go directly to your artwork archive account. So now you have a direct connection with a potential buyer. You can build that relationship. You can coordinate the sale. And they're saved in your contacts too. So now you have a record. If you are a public art program and you are not selling these artworks, you can remove that purchase link and you can keep the inquire button. So I am curious, this looks like something that was in my library. And so I have questions about it and I want to learn more about the artist. I've now engaged with you as a citizen in the community. Let's see. The About section. Their various collections that I mentioned. So they had one for their garden fellows, which is a part of their incubator. And then I mentioned the artist profiles, which I will get into a little bit later, but just beautiful. What's even better, so this is a presence separate. We drive SEO, we've been around for 11 years. So you get to piggyback off of our established website. Great. You also can embed this onto your website. So let me click into Stanford Children's Health. Love them. My son is medically complex, so we have a strong relationship to arts and healing personally. Here you can see we are on their website. You can't tell it's hosted by Artwork Archive, and it has that same functionality. You can scroll over, click in, learn more about the artworks, still inquire. To show you, give you a few examples. Here is the Marjorie Barrick Museum of Art that I mentioned earlier. They have embedded their collections as well. So here I go, click in, I can learn more about an artwork, additional images, click in, learn more. So how do you do this? So if you're on a free trial, you're using Artwork Archive and you want to start using this tool. Very simple. Right here on the left-hand side, my profile. By default, as I said, your account will be private when you create an account. So you'll see that it will say private in red. You'll want to go to public settings and you'll want to check this box to make your profile public. We want to give you that power, that choice, that option. And you can always change it too. Within public settings, like I mentioned, you have the optionality to share whatever you wish. So you can uncheck prices. You can show your locations so that you can then have a map view. If I just click through the various tabs, your info, contact information, social media links, logo, your about section, who you are as an organization, public pieces. So this is where you decide what pieces are public. And what's great is filters are here for you to save time too quickly. Maybe you don't want your de-accession pieces or your unfortunately lost or destroyed pieces to be publicly viewable. You can filter by those, and you can either make them private here or just check the box, uncheck the box. And you can also do this on the object record. I mentioned the news section. So here, like a little mini blog post, some of our clients have their interns, their volunteers update this section. So, maybe an opening, a highlight, a spotlight, an interview with one of your artists. Very easy to create by clicking new post. And I showed you the integrations, the fact that you can embed onto your website. You do so here from integrations. It is so simple, one line of code. But even when we say things are simple, there's always questions, which we totally get. Technology can do that to us. You can always access us at any time. There's a chat box within Artwork Archive. You can contact us at team@Artwork Archive. But here, integrations, one line of code. So this is the line of code for the entire portfolio that I've decided to be public. You copy and paste that in your HTML. You can also embed individual collections. You can embed individual artist pages. You can embed individual exhibitions, and you can embed your map. We have help docs to help you along the way. So here they are linked, but you can also on anything. So I mentioned QR codes. You're in Artwork Archive and you forget how to do so, how to make them. Totally fine. We have a help docs section right here on the left-hand side, help docs, or you can click the question box up in the upper right-hand corner and search, and we will have it for you. But that is how you embed. Let me show you. I don't have the tab part. Another great client, Winter Park Paintout. This is a plein air art festival that is a fundraiser for the museum. Every year they host it, starting with the pandemic in 2020, they brought it online. They have embedded individual artist pages. So now I can learn more about John and the artworks of his in the collection. I can see the artworks, and they have also embedded individual collections as well. So I believe that was all that I wanted to share when it comes to that part of the public profile. I mentioned the interactive map. So this is huge for those that have artwork spread out. So if you're a public art program, you are a hospital, you are an academic institution. So if you are hosting an outdoor art festival or an outdoor studio or an open studios, you can have an interactive map on the public profile and embed it onto your website to help direct people to artworks. Everyone uses Google Maps these days, except for my sister, who still uses her Apple map. But she would still be able to have access because it will give an address and a link so you can provide directions to. And if your work doesn't have a formal address because it is a mural or it is in the middle of a sculpture garden, you can include GPS coordinates so that you can directly pinpoint where it is so people are not meandering around Boston Common or whatever it may be. What does that look like? Okay, I have some examples. So here's Art Cheyenne. Love their public art collection. They utilize the map. If I click in, I can see the spread. So maybe I want to see something in my community, or I'm planning a trip to Cheyenne. I know I'm going to be staying downtown. I can look, I can click in and see, here is an artwork. I can click up. I can click and find the Google Maps directions. So I can scroll out, see some more works. I can click in, learn more. Happy birthday, Cheyenne. You can learn more about the artwork. Here I see there its location, and again, could click into the Google map to find directions. Showing some spread across the country. If you are a municipality, a state municipality, state percent for arts program, like Nebraska, big location, big spread. You don't have to worry about it. You can still help people find from west to east, the artworks in your civic buildings that maybe people don't have access to right now, but you still have a mission to be stewards and to share out the works that are in your buildings. People can access it virtually. They don't have to walk in the doors, which is still a complicated thing to do at these times. And one great example is Duke Arts and Health. Hospitals still hard to gather inside. Not necessarily a place that people go in willingly. So you can still share out the artworks in your collection using the map. And here Duke also has like additional images to show detail, context, where it is in space. So how do you do that within your artwork archive account? Oh, apologies. I'm going to go back into my profile because everything within your public profile and your embed lives here. If I go to public settings, you'll see public location settings. So you decide if you want to show the location. So for those that were saying that they were managing, a boss was managing a private art collection, maybe you don't want to show, where your clients' various artworks in their homes are. Just don't check it. Or you may not use the public profile at all. That is fine. But one thing to note is that in order to show a location, you need a location record. So if I go back into an artwork, click into the Companion of Diana, I can see its current location here, Sculpture Garden. If I click edit, you can see maybe it's a temporary rotating piece. You can set deadlines. You can set location record notes. So maybe this is in a particular wing indoors by an office, and you need to keep record of that granularity. So you don't have to send colleagues off on a scavenger hunt to find this piece. You can direct them exactly to it. And here is the GPS coordinates that will override the location and show if it is not at a conventional location address, like I said. Okay. Moving along. Lastly, so I hosted an entire webinar on online exhibitions last month. If you are on it, so good to see you again. If you missed it and you're interested, we record every webinar and host it on our YouTube channel. And so Emily, if you want to share that link in the chat, that would be really helpful. You might already have because you're totally on it. Yeah, online exhibitions. So I'll keep this relatively brief. There are many advantages to online exhibitions, which is why we are seeing more virtual programming, right? So first, you are not restricted to your brick and mortar space. You can share more information. You can embed videos, share artist-related content, provide more historical context with an online exhibit. The internet, like I said, is limitless. I'm going to click into an exhibit so you can follow along. Let's see. Here we go. Back to Marjorie. Here is a list of their exhibitions that they have hosted. I'm going to click into this one. And there is carousel, installation shots, because this is a physical exhibition that has an online presence. I scroll down, I can read more about the exhibition. They've included a SoundCloud playlist, which is absolutely lovely. Multimedia, creating, engaging all the senses within an exhibition. I can see the works and I can view by artists. I'm going to continue in that you are not restricted by geographical or time-based restrictions. Anyone can access your exhibit at any time. And so Duke Arts and Health mentioned, I said this in the last webinar, that they tripled their art sales because they weren't limited to the people that were just walking into the hospital and seeing the exhibition in person. People were purchasing artworks for their fundraiser from out of state. One of our clients said that they turned on their public profile and within a week they had exponentially more visits to their website, and nothing else had changed. And so thanks to the public profile, this presence, more people were finding them and accessing their website. Online exhibitions are also low impact for your team, meaning that you don't have to spend a lot of resources on online exhibitions. They're really easy to create if you're using Artwork Archive. You don't have to spend a lot of funds, time. You can pop up a show for your local artists that otherwise maybe not have wall space in your gallery. You may not have space for them in your schedule. You can give this project to an intern, to a student, to a volunteer for them to showcase their research. And lastly, with online tools like this, you are preserving the legacy of the artists that you are showcasing, whether living or deceased. And so, your contemporary artists will love this. They have an additional avenue for their artworks to be shown. And so here we have an artist profile that I mentioned earlier, hosted by the Lilly Museum of Art. So headshot, bio. Here's a public art program, the Fulton County Public Art Program, highlighting the really important work of their artist, Nancy Barbosa. So where do you create these? If you say it's easy Elysian, show me, prove it. I will. Let me go back in to Artwork Archive. Right here on the left-hand side, there are down exhibitions. You also have a record of all of your exhibitions. So if you have any academic scholars with inquiries, students that missed the show but have a paper due tomorrow about it, you can send them information. But if I click into an exhibit, this is where all of your details are tracked, deadlines, people, contacts, the artworks that are in your collection. You can create various groupings. So, if it's an individual artist show, solo show, and you want to break up the exhibition by their earlier works, their, time in Paris, their time in New York City, their time in Santa Fe, you can do so, their legacy. Here in this exhibition is broken down by nature, cityscapes, thematic groupings. And then I showed you in that carousel with the Barrick Museum that you can also upload additional media. So this can be installation shots, it can be your hero images, it can also be videos. So you can link to Vimeo or YouTube, and it can be a curator's talk, it can be an interview with the artist, whatever it may be. A time-lapse video of you installing the show, a little behind the scenes peek. And then you can also, like everything in Artwork Archive, you can attach additional files. So for here, this is your inventory list. And because we went into this in like full detail in our last webinar, I won't go into the nitty gritty, but if you were to go into new exhibition, you will see that you can create an exhibition very easily. You don't have to fill out every field. The fields are here for optionality, for your project management, your workflow. In the previous webinar, I went through each one of these fields, but you can see that, you can enter the information, publish it, and then ta-da, you have an online exhibition that is either in concert with your physical show to expand its presence, or it can just be a virtual show, creating more dynamicism within your programming. Okay, so that's it for the parts within Artwork Archive that you can utilize if you are interested, the best practices that we have seen. So the other thing too is, if you have any questions, there are other online exhibition opportunities. People are doing virtual reality, AR, augmented reality, to show 3D objects, to be able to rotate and view. A lot of great things that are happening within technology. What I really like about our online exhibitions is that it is accessible for every type of institution. So you don't have to worry about having a Blockbuster account, nor expectations. And they're really beautiful and easy to view, to learn from, to engage with. Yeah, we've heard really great positive reactions to the online exhibitions tool. And so I mentioned we've been hearing some things. This is, if you're just curious about what other people are saying and their experiences, we have just an incredible client list that ranges from museums, nonprofit art centers, public art programs, hospitals, airports, universities, small co-ops led by artists. It's really impressive. Art galleries of all size, all around the world. Art consultants in the beginning of their career and those that are established and looking to, hand it over to their colleague. So as I've been chatting, maybe you read these testimonials, really wonderful things that we're hearing. I was a history major, so I apologize. I really like words, and I love research. If you want to do a little bit more digging and learn more within this presentation that I will send to you, I have hyperlinked some articles from our blog that explains, the benefits, the challenges, the opportunities. A few of these are more deep dives and tutorials into the tools that I showed you. If you want to learn how to create an interactive map or QR codes, for example. And then also I'm always writing white papers and case studies about our incredible clients. And one that I wanted to highlight is how For Culture, an incredible public art program in Washington, is using their database to share artist stories and connect with their community. And I mentioned the blog, so if you're interested, here is the link. Emily, if you want to just link to it in the chat, yeah. We also write for individual artists. We write for individual collectors. The blog market covers, art inventory, conservation, marketing, wonderful interview pieces with some of our clients, inspirational articles, trends that are happening in the art world. A little spiel. Our work archive is here to help. So for those that are already using our work archive, hopefully this gave you a sense of what more is possible within your account. For those that are on the free trial, maybe this stimulated some curiosity to dig deeper into some of our tools. And for those that are new to us, maybe this was like a welcoming handshake, an open armed hug, because I'm a hugger, into our platform. So you can learn more about how we help. And this topic is a big one for us at Artwork Archive, for all of our peoples, whether you're an individual artist or in large global corporation, getting our artworks out, our stories told, our cultural heritage preserved is of utmost importance. And I should say, our prices very affordable. Access, is also, tied into price. We offer a lifetime nonprofit discount, 30%. I'm only showing this because last time in the webinar, people asked for the pricing page. So here it is. You can also find the pricing page if you go to artworkarchive.com and click pricing. But everything that I've been showing, I should have said this in the beginning, so I apologize. A lot of these features were for our organization clients, artists and collectors. You do have tools to make your artworks accessible, but the focus on this was for collecting institutions. So apologies that I did not mention that earlier. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask us at team@Artwork Archive or in this chat box. But again, the presentation was focused on our collecting institutions, our art advisors that are working with various collections. So again, just to make it clear, because I work with a lot of nonprofits, we have a nonprofit discount, 30% for a lifetime, which makes our platform very affordable. And it includes everything I showed. It includes tech support, customer support. I'm happy to be of help personally for onboarding. We're here, we're people, not robots. And I believe that brings me to the conclusion and time for questions. So Emily, will you help me field the questions? That'd be great.
So the most recent question was from an individual artist, Robert Bean, and he's wondering when the artist accounts will have the ability, or if they will, to put their exhibitions online in the same way that organizations can.
Yeah, great question. Right now, so artists do have an exhibitions tool, but it's more for the management or the exhibitions that you have applied for your own business, for your own legacy preservation. So right now, there is no ability for you to make your exhibitions public. In the interim, you can create a collection for your exhibitions. And so if you go to pieces and click down, you'll see collections, and you can create a collection for your exhibition and make that public. But the exhibitions tool with the carousel, as you saw, it showcases various artists. That is for the organizations because they are more often hosting those within their institution. So great question, and I'll bring it back to the team for the artists.
So Cameron Howard asks that she says, or he says, I noticed there was a video upload option. I'm curious if there is an audio upload option. And so I mentioned that under additional files, you could definitely upload like an MP4 file, but in general, best practice would probably be to affix that audio file to a video with closed captioning, and then you would just upload the link to the video. But do you want to speak any more on audio?
No, that was great. And also, if you do, I showed the Barrick had a SoundCloud playlist link. You can also link to where that audio file is being hosted if you are hosting it elsewhere. So you can do that as well. But yeah, with the video, creating it as a video file or somewhere where closed captioning can be provided is really helpful. You know, my son is hard of hearing, so thinking about those that do not have access to the auditory sense.
And then Carol was wondering about embedding. She says, if I'm an estate manager and not an institution, embedding does not apply to me. False.
Yeah, do you want to speak to that one, Emily?
So basically, you can embed, everyone can embed. And as I mentioned before, you can embed into 10,000 different websites if you are unfortunate enough to be the admin for 10,000 different websites. But the exhibitions feature is right now only for organizations. So if you're on a collector account, you might only want to embed parts of your private collection, but you're probably not doing exhibitions anyway, per se. So that would be fine. But you can still embed, and it's definitely one of our most popular features.
Cool. Thanks. Looking to see if we have any questions. Sherry, to your question about editing photos and then uploading them, if you can contact, since that's more of like a technical question, if you can just contact us at our customer support chat, we can show you steps to streamline that process. You know, and if people are interested, I did not mention it in the presentation, but there are various ways that you can get information into an artwork archive account. You can upload one piece at a time. You can bulk upload and upload up to 20 pieces at a time, drag and drop for your desktop, sync from your Dropbox. Also, the biggie is that for everybody is that if you have a spreadsheet or if you're coming from another system and you want to migrate and transfer your data, we do a data import. And so we do all of the heavy lifting for you to populate your account so you don't have to do that again. Because as Emily mentioned, if you are managing multiple estates, multiple clients, multiple locations, you know, thousands of artworks, or even if it's like 100, you don't want to do it manually. Every organization plan comes with a free import, and that's been a huge time saver to get it out in public. Like I said, get your house in order, build up the foundation, get it all in, the artworks, the images, the documents, the artist bios, so that you can easily share it out. Any other questions?
I mentioned to Carol that additional files do not have to be attached to a specific artwork or event. You have a section called My Docs, and that's for your more general documentation that perhaps applies to your entire collection, such as an insurance policy or a long-term storage contract. So you do have that option to have just general documents aggregated and consolidated in one place where they're easy to find.
Okay, cool. Well, and I also want to say, you know, in order for us to best serve you all, you know, whether you use Artwork Archive or not, and you're just coming here for educational resources, we want to hear feedback on these webinars, anything that we can do differently to better convey the information, any topics that you're interested in. So we're working on our calendar year for upcoming webinars, what topics would you like to hear? Feel free to put it in the chat, or you can contact us at team@artworkarchive. Yeah, thank you, Emily. We would love to hear. We always want to get better, so then we can best serve you all. And with that, we are at time. I would like to say a warm thank you from chilly Denver right now as I look out at snow. Hope you all are doing well. And thank you again for the time.